Hi everyone, it's Bobbi-Jo and welcome to my home. I am coming to you with hashtag Thursday BookTube. This is an open collab done by Life with Patty as well as Daphne at my mountain home and kitchen. And you can do anything book related and talk about anything like coloring books, organizing books. In my case, it's usually what I'm reading, what I've rated them as, etc. And yeah, so we're gonna jump into kind of a wrap up for July, and I'll let you know a couple of things about what I noticed there, and then I'll talk about a few books that I have read, and maybe if I've got not too much time on here, I will go into a couple of books that I'm in the midst of. So for July, I finished and a couple of them wrapped in from June. So I finished 9 books and I DNF'd 1. So my average rating this month was low. It was 3.28. Even though I had books with 4 out of 5s, I even had 4.5 out of 5, I still had that 3.25 rating there. So the book I DNF'd was Dark Sisters, and it was a book. The reason I DNF'd it was just taking, number one, forever to get into. It just, not a lot was happening. But the main reason is because of the character development, the ability to fit into the environment. It was just overall, I just could not get into it, and therefore, unfortunately, I had to DNF it. It was an ARC, which is an advanced copy, but it is what it is. I have learned over the years, I would never DNF a book. I would never put down a book. I would force myself all the way through it. However, what I have learned in my old age wisdom, that I am taking time away from books that I may enjoy to read books that I'm not enjoying at all. So I'd say about 5-10 years ago, I decided, okay, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not sticking with books that I can't handle. So, so the books that I did finish were The God Killer, Annie Bot, House of Glass, The Banned Bookshop of Maggie Banks. I loved that book. The fact that it wasn't focused on actual banned books, so there's a twist to it. The Last One at the Wedding, Small Ceremonies, The Book of Lost Hours, The Night Tiger, and Sunbringer. So for the last ones there, because I know that I didn't talk about them yet. So for Night Tiger, I had 3 out of 5 on it. I know a lot of people really enjoyed the book. It was the it was the romance that killed it for me, really. It really brought it down to mid-level. So pros about it were the character. I liked the characters as themselves. The cultural references, and I learned a lot there, and interweaving of related storylines. So there was a storyline over here, a storyline over here, and they kind of got together. The romance, I just couldn't, it couldn't click for me. And it was a very tidy ending, and I do not like tidy endings. I do not need to know what every single thing happened after after the book is done. I just don't. So my favorite quote was, "We were a chocolate box family, I thought. Brightly wrapped on the outside and oozing sticky darkness within. So, yeah, it was okay. And, like, if you don't mind, tidy endings, for instance, if you don't mind, but that way, if it was just the ending, no, I would have ranked it higher. It's just the romance thing. It just didn't do anything for me, and that's a big part of the book, I think. Anyways, I just couldn't get past a 3 on it. And the next one was the Book of Lost Hours. I loved this. It was an arc from NetGalley. It's coming out at the end of this month. I have it in my calendar to try to remember to tell you guys about it. I will tell you it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. So I put it as a 5 in Goodreads. My initial thoughts on it was that the book was it was likened to the Midnight Library, but I've read that, and this one was much better than that. So, yes, if you liked the Midnight Library, you probably like this, but you're probably going to like it better. So the praise part of it, prose, excellent concept. The plot and storyline were fantastic. World building, character development. It wasn't linear, which is a plus for me. I'm not really one to like a straight line plot. I enjoy going in all directions. Thought provoking for sure. The pacing was excellent, and difficult subjects were easily portrayed. Because it was kind of thought provoking in the way that it was such a difficult subject, and they made it simpler so that the reader was able to understand it well. I think that's how I want to explain that. Critiques was there were general editing mistakes in it, and minimal inconsistencies within it. So my favorite quote was, "Even good people make desperate decisions when trying to do what's best." So I thought that was a really good book. I was very happy with it. The next one is, I believe, Sunbringer. This one here, I went 3 out of 5 on it. Now, this is the sequel to God Killer, and I think I should have maybe taken a little bit more time before reading the sequel. Maybe that's why I didn't like it quite as good as the original. So the prose was the ending of it. Character relationships, the pacing was good. Variety of gods and how they were immersed into the story. Cons was that it wasn't as good as the first one. The narrator, I read it in tandem, and had I known, I would have just finished it. Like, I would have... what I mean is that I read a little bit with my eyeballs and read a little bit listening and then with my eyeballs, and I should have just read it all with my eyeballs. Her pace felt like she was making statements, like she was, instead of actually reading text and having the flow there. And the secondary character voices were just odd to me. I didn't like it at all. So next time, I know I have to read just with my eyeballs for the third book. I know that now, and that's what I'll continue to do, because usually they'll continue with the same narrator right through the series. So And secondary characters that I thought were going to be integral to the whole story. With they didn't have any, like, they were introduced and they just kind of were out there randomly, just kind of not going anywhere. So that's what I thought of that one. So this one here, I started July, so it's going to flow over to August. But this is I Cheerfully Refuse. So this one I haven't put in my I haven't put it in my spreadsheet yet, so I got to remember to do that. Anyways, I gave it a 3.5, which is, I round up on Goodreads. Prose, it's very reflective. The imagery is great. It says it's dystopian, but it's very minimal. So if you don't like dystopian, you would still like this book. The concept and plot was original, different. And the characters, especially the little girl, are great. Cons, it may have been improved with details, who the antagonists were in relation to other people. Like, I didn't understand how they had all this power and stuff to do things to people. So I would have liked the book to be a little bit longer and then give me details on that a little bit. And fave quote was, "Sometimes the devil you know is bad enough to chance the one you don't." Is that the truth? So that, I'm just making sure I've got all of it that I wanted to talk. Oh, I read The Lost Story as well, and Meg Schaefer I have read before and thought it was really good. There's this fly in my... Anyways, I thought she was really good. I think she did The Measure, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check. Yeah, I gotta put these in my spreadsheet. No, she did The Wishing Game. That's it. And I thought The Wishing Game was well done. This one I had trouble with, and I was kind of expecting to like it more, I guess. The pros were that the storyteller was a character. I really liked her because she came in like intermittently and gave details, and I liked that. I liked the characters bickering back and forth with each other, bantering back and forth with each other, and the narrator. I read this one with my ears, so the narrator was very good at it. Cons, the world building, for sure, because the first 30% of this was if they had have spent the amount of time, that amount of time building the scene. So introduce the characters maybe in the first 15%, and then start the world building, because I don't think there was enough time to really generate that world, and I wanted to see more imaginative elements to it. Like, it's just seemed like there was no real thought put into the creatures and things like that would be in that world. I found that even though it's an adult book, the characters were very immature. So the pacing was not good as well. But that was my main thing, is that this is an adult book and they were acting YA. Like, it was just the maturity levels, just if it had been marketed to me as a middle grade or a YA, I would have said, yeah, okay, the characters kind of fit that, but there's adult topics in it, so you can't really. Fave quote is, "All books are magic. An object that can take you to another world without even leaving your room. A story written by a stranger, and yet it seems they wrote it just for you, or to you. Loving and hating people made out of ink and paper, not of flesh and blood. Yes, books are magic, maybe even the strongest magic there is." So I liked that whole paragraph. But yeah, I personally, I would be on the fence recommending this. You know, I'd be on the fence with it. Yeah. So that's my thing. What am I reading right now? As usual, I've got a list. What am I at? 16 minutes? I'll just go quickly through. I'm reading The Spell for Drowning right now. That's an arc. Greta and Valden. I'm not sure I'm liking that book, but we'll see. Yankee Stranger. That's a old book that I happened to find in my grandmother's books that my mother dropped off, and I said, "Hey, why not read it?" Sure, it's there. Anita and DeMonte, Laughs Last. Another one. Yeah, I'll have words on that. I'm gonna finish that by next week for sure. The river, there are rivers in the sky. Can't wait to talk about that one next week. I love it. And I'm still on. I've still got one Q84 on my list of things I've got to get to again. But yeah, I am loving There Are Rivers in the Sky. Can't wait to talk about it. And I'm liking The Spell for Drowning. So the other books hopefully will pick up. Even Yankee Stranger, it's slow going. So we'll see. We'll see how we do next week. Anyways, I think I've blabbed on long enough, so I will let you guys go. Thank you very much for tapping in, and please go and check out the other ladies that are doing this. Use the hashtag Thursday BookTube, and you will get a whole bunch. Make sure you know that you can filter it. So if you've watched other ones in the past and you just want the last 2 weeks, you can filter it so that it only gives you the last 2 weeks. And so on and so forth. If you want a day, if you just want the last 2 days even, you can filter that when you do your search. So keep that in mind. Anyways, thanks a lot, you guys. Bye.